Why is it so hard to meet great men in online dating? Maybe you have been playing the online dating game for years, or you just got here and it's already feeling like a nightmare to you. Let's talk about why this is really going on, rather than the ego answers you're probably getting from your brain, which sound like there are no good men left, all the good ones are taken, or men just don't have what it takes to cut it for a relationship. Let's talk about what is really happening underneath, why you are struggling so much in online dating. We're starting with, it's not that online dating is just the worst system for meeting someone, and it's actually not that men are not capable of relationship. Those are beliefs that are definitely out there in the world. They are definitely very popular right now, but they really will not help you use online dating platforms to your advantage. They will not help you find love in online dating. And the fact of the matter is that many people do find love in online dating. That is the number one way people meet now. That's actually the number one way people meet their partners at this point in history. So the idea that it's not possible for you to find a partner in online dating is a fallacy that your brain is making up for you. That while it might feel safe and like it's protecting you and like it's a very comfortable spot, it's not actually the reason that online dating isn't working for you, and it's also not helpful. It's not a belief or a thought or an attitude that is going to get you further in online dating. So if what you really want is a partner, if you are dating for a partner, like really seriously, not just like that would be nice, but if you really are feeling that yearning to be in partnership, then online dating is a great choice for you. And the straightest, surest path to using online dating in a way that works is going to be to overcome these thoughts that I'm going to talk about now. So we can talk about online dating being hard because it reveals your unhealed parts faster than almost anything else in life. If you have a rough edge, online dating is going to reveal it ASAP. And why that is, it's because the stakes are high. In your nervous system, online dating makes the stakes feel really high. If we zoom out and we look at what's going on, you are just meeting men. You can imagine you walked into a room that's full of men and you are just there meeting them. What happens is we decide, our brains decide, I am here to meet my soulmate, and we put the stakes way up here. So even though you just walked into this room of random strangers you've never met before, you don't even know if they're real or if they are who they say they are, suddenly the stakes for your system are very high. And I just talked to a client about this today. When the stakes are that high, you do weird things. You behave differently than you would usually behave in real life. Like even as yourself, like your normal self suddenly becomes a little bit more high strung or a little bit more lenient, a little bit more accommodating, right? Like today we were talking about that tendency to forgive, we could say, to make excuses for the behavior of people you're meeting online. So it isn't that good men or men who are compatible with you, because that's what we really mean by good men, are just unicorns, that they don't exist or that they're really hard to find. It's just that you are spending so much energy on men who aren't compatible with you, men who aren't a good fit, because you are dating in your nice girl habits, like your relationship habits that aren't about relating on an even playing field, because you already made the stakes so high. And when the stakes are high, you feel a little bit of a charge instead of total relaxation and openness to connection. So number one is kind of that you are having your unhealed parts revealed really quickly. And number two is that when the stakes get that high, your unhealed parts are emphasized. They are out to play. They are all up in everybody's business real fast. And you will find yourself doing behaviors that you wouldn't necessarily do. For example, getting online, getting offline, being rude to complete strangers, being upset that someone ghosts you that you don't know. Those things are all nervous system responses derived from the fact that you feel a lot of pressure around this online dating situation. That's actually not that much pressure in objective reality. The third reason is that men sort of speak a different language than women when they are getting to know someone, and you probably don't speak that language. If you are struggling to connect with men in online dating, it's likely that you struggle to do things like flirt or to connect with men emotionally. Maybe it doesn't feel natural for you, maybe it feels even scary for you, or just really uncomfortable in general. Like it's just not your favorite thing to do. And the way that you're communicating with men is like it's missing them. It's not creating interest in you, and it's not really expressing the fullness and fun parts of yourself, the way that you would be a great partner, an obvious fun date, all of the good stuff about what it would be like to be in conversation with you and then to get to meet you, spend time with you, and commit to you in a long-term relationship. You don't know how to communicate to them in ways that they understand how amazing of a woman you are. So if that's the case for you, you definitely want to be learning emotional communication, expressing yourself in ways that are emotionally available and really connect with men. And you can learn this from a bunch of different places, but of course, I always recommend my book, Art of Feminine Seduction, or the course, The Art of Feminine Seduction, if you prefer a little bit more hands-on, interactive kinds of learning. And I have several YouTube videos about that as well. Related to that is number 4, and it's that your energy is off. This is another thing you can learn in my book or from my channel in general, so do subscribe if you are looking for more of that. And essentially, what that means is that you just don't have sovereignty over your energy. You don't have knowledge of or control over the way that you are showing up in dating energetically. This might show up for you in terms of feeling impatient and expressing impatience with men, or talking down to them, or trying to mother them, or showing up in ways that are maybe a way a therapist might show up for them, or a really good friend that they've known for years, instead of a romantic potential from the internet who is brand new to their life. And it's very easy to get into that energy because that's often an energy we're very comfortable with, but it's not a great energy to be in when you are trying to attract romance and love and the attention and pursuit from a man. So what you want to do is practice the deep feminine energy stuff and really get into that space of being incredibly complete in yourself, whole in yourself, your feminine self, and showing up fully emotionally available, ready to connect, and excited to be dating, right? Like happy to be there meeting someone. Another thing that tends to backfire, so number 5, is that you are likely taking things personally when they aren't about you. And this kind of falls into that behavior that happens when the stakes feel high. You put yourself in the center of the world and you feel like what's happening is around you is because of you. So for example, if someone ghosts you, you feel like it's because of you. You feel like they ghosted you because they didn't care about you enough. They didn't love you enough. I used to love being not beautiful enough, right? They don't feel that I'm beautiful enough to keep talking to. And that was kind of the thing that came up for me. So for you, it might be something different, but it's generally around something that's not enoughness, not liked enough, right? Not being exciting, wanted, desirable enough in order to keep them talking to you. And actually what may have happened is they had something happen in their life, or their ex came back, or they realized they weren't over their ex, or something totally unrelated to you or dating. And it's really hard to recognize that in the moment often, that you are not the center of their life. And so whatever they're up to is likely not about you. But that doesn't make this any easier when it happens to you, because your feelings are that it's about you. It feels really personal. So you are often taking things personally, even when they're not. It is so exhausting to live in that space of everything that happens is because of me. Like the bad stuff, right? The bad stuff is because of me. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I am not loved enough, right? I'm not loved enough in order to have what I want, in order to have the relationship I want. And so that making it about you becomes a negative thing. It becomes a way that you are subconsciously beating yourself up and it will make you so tired of online dating. So the way to move around this is to begin recognizing when you are in your lane and when you're not in your lane, when something is actually about you and when something is just completely about that other person doing whatever they need to do. And usually it's about that other person doing their life. If you don't know why they're gone, assume that it's because something happened in their life. It's not about you. It's about what happened in their life over there because of them. Number 6 thing that makes meeting great men in online dating is not having a strategy or feeling like you don't know what you're doing. It's super exhausting to be in a space that you feel like you're constantly guessing, like it's unknown territory and you don't know what you're doing. So if you don't know how to get great matches, or you don't know how to have really fun conversations with men, or you don't know how to get asked out, you are going to struggle in online dating at some point because you'll just feel like so lost. You will feel like you just don't know where you are, what you're doing, and how to make it better. And if that's you, I really recommend that you subscribe to this channel and any other dating coaches you find out there that you resonate with, because this is why we're here. It doesn't actually have to be a mystery. That is the cool part that I discovered way later in life than I thought I wanted. It all happened in perfect time, but these are skills that you can learn. I've made several videos about all of those topics. It's also in the book and in my course. You can absolutely learn the skills of online dating. That's what it is. It's kind of like the hard skills of online dating. Number 7 is related to that, not knowing how to do the online dating thing, and that is you feel powerless. Feeling powerless will make online dating so tough for you, and especially meeting great men in online dating. What you'll do in that case is you'll outsource your power. You'll give your power to men, for example, or to online dating platforms in general, and you'll say things like, good men don't swipe on me, or good men don't ask me out, or good men don't want me. There will be some reason that men are the root of the issue. Or else the dating apps themselves, right? So this is where you feel like there's something flawed with dating apps that makes it so that you can't have the love that you want. And really, dating apps are just a bunch of zeros and ones out there floating. And dating apps have nothing to do with how well you attract someone who is interested in you. Your behavior is what attracts that or doesn't. So outsourcing your power almost always backfires because you take yourself away from the center of your life and you've just transferred the issue to someone else. Like it's just someone else's problem. Unfortunately, if it's someone else's problem, you can't fix it. And you absolutely can have the relationship you want. You can meet incredibly great men online. You'll just need to work a little bit on some of the things we've talked about, like lowering the stakes while keeping your standards high and learning the skills of getting asked out, of matching great men and meeting great men. And the last thing I want to mention why it's hard for you to meet great men in online dating is that you don't trust your own pleasure and your own body. This is something that's very common among women and people in general right now. We're not really trained how to do this. This is not a mainstream way of learning yourself, learning to be yourself, but it is so crucial when you want to date someone online because you are meeting a stranger. And so every single step from the moment you match to your first date, follow-up communication, like all of it, the whole unraveling of your relationship depends on being connected to your own pleasure and your body around what's happening with this person. If you don't have that awareness going on for yourself, you will do things like keep talking to men who don't inspire you. Again, I'll return to this. It's so exhausting to be in lots of conversations with men who don't inspire you. You will just keep doing that though. You will just continue to be in those conversations. You may not even notice that you stick around in conversations with men who would never meet your requirements for a relationship if you met them in real life. To counterbalance this, I recommend that again, you go back, imagine yourself meeting these men at a party in a room, like in real life. Would you stay in a conversation with a man who's having the conversation with you that you're having online? Use that as your guidepost for what you would actually do. Because even though it's digital and it is disembodied, you can still trust your body to know whether you're having an interesting conversation, a good conversation, a conversation with a man who has enough emotional intelligence for you or not. And you can choose to end conversations and not spend your energy on men who are not going to cut it. Because it is true that there are lots of men out there who are not going to cut it for you. If you are watching this channel, I know you're highly emotionally intelligent. You've probably done a ton of work on yourself and continue to do a ton of work on yourself. And that learning about feminine energy, learning about relationships, and learning about how love works is very important to you. And so you need someone who's going to at least match that energy in some capacity. It doesn't have to look exactly like, oh, they read all the same books as you, but you need somebody who is going to match your capacity for growth, for self-awareness, for emotional intelligence. And if you are spending a lot of time in online dating, considering the profiles of men who are not going to be able to carry on the kind of conversations you are going to have in your long-term relationships, or are going to be bad dates, they're just not going to be an interesting date, you have permission to not spend your energy there. Because again, it is exhausting to be fielding all of these different people, different men, who are just not even going to live up to what you need in the first place. Like, there was just no chance. And that's not bad. It's actually really good for you to discern who is a great match for you and who's not really quickly. Because that's when online dating moves quickly, feels good, energizes you, gets you connected to your romantic side, right? That's the pleasure element. How much fun are you having talking to these men? How much fun are you having on dates, right? How much good are you experiencing with these romantic potentials? Because ultimately, that's what dating is really about. It's about having fun, flirtation, feeling your sensuality, creating attraction and connection with someone that you find hot. So I hope that was helpful. In the meantime, let me know in the comments below which one of these or which ones of these you are struggling with. I recommend you go watch my video about how to curate your online dating profile to start attracting high quality men. I don't know why this is not my #1 video. Everyone needs to be doing what is in that video. There are 7 points everyone needs to be doing in order to get great matches. So that's linked somewhere over here and down below, and I highly recommend you consume that and implement it as fast as possible. And I will see you next week for another fun lesson on dating men in your feminine energy.